Hi guys, Sandra here from the blog thesensiblemom.com, and today is day -6. Today was a difficult day. Yesterday was difficult because of the catheter, and I forgot to mention in David's video, but I just mentioned it on his Facebook page that he was having some issues with his port yesterday. They were having issues with getting blood return, and so they put this medicine in there called TPA, and unfortunately we're still not getting blood return, and he might have had to go through this unpleasant procedure of where they would have to stick some dye in there and see where things are going, or they might have had to like take the needle out and place it again or whatever. So thankfully the doctor's okayed for a second dose of TPA to be put in the line, and that worked. After that there was blood return, and so he didn't have to go through any more unpleasant procedures, which was really good news. And so today was a difficult day because David got a second dose of Cytoxin, and even though he got it while he was sleeping. It only runs over an hour, which is good, but it's so powerful. When he got up, he woke up again around noontime, and so he got the Zofran. He's getting that around the clock for nausea, and so when he woke up, like one of the first things he said was that his stomach hurt, and but he didn't say he felt nauseous. He just said his stomach hurt. And then when we got him kind of going, and we got him in the bathtub and got him cleaned up, and then started to work on his morning routine, it seems like he started to feel better, and he was doing okay overall for most of the day, other than saying most of the beginning part of the day, other than saying at some points that his body hurt, and that he just seemed more tired and just sort of not like himself. He did go to the playroom, and when he got back from the playroom, he was just really tired, and this was probably around like 4 o'clock. He was when he got back from the playroom, and he was just really tired. Actually, no. He got done with the playroom like around 3:20, and then one of the school therapy teachers came to spend some time with him, and so they played some games together. I got a little break, got to go get some coffee, and then I came back, and she wrapped things up with David, and then he just kind of, at that point, he hadn't eaten much like all day, so I was like, David, you're probably hungry, get something to eat. So he ate a little bit, and then he just kind of was like laying around on the bed, and just started to say that his stomach was hurting. And so I was like, okay, then like, should we ask for some more medicine? Because the nurse can give you some medicine, and it's going to be through your IV. You're not gonna have to drink it, because he hates drinking medicine. And yesterday, when he was in such pain from the catheter, I was like, David, they can give you some medicine to make the pain better. And they were ready to give him like another dose of morphine, but he was like, no. He was like crying. He was in pain, but he did not want any more medicine, even though it was going to be through his PICC line. And he was like, no. So today, he was just, so uncomfortable, just feeling really yucky, that he said yes, he wanted the medicine. So he grabbed the control, and pushed the call button, and told the nurse that, that he needed some medicine to feel better. So they came and gave him another dose of medicine called Ativan. So he'd been getting Zofran. He's been getting Zofran around the clock. He got Ativan yesterday before they put the catheter in, and then he didn't get any more of that yesterday. He didn't need any more or want any more. Today though, because he wasn't feeling well, feeling really yucky, they gave, he was, he wanted more medicine, and so they gave him a dose of Ativan, and that seemed to really help. He seemed to start feeling better, and he went to go play for a little bit this evening, and then when he got back, again, he just was sort of like, he just kind of had slowed down, just not his usual wild self. And he had been saying, like, he was saying again that, like, his stomach was hurting, and that he wasn't feeling well. Earlier he was saying today that his body hurt, and he was saying that he had a headache, and so I was like, your head hurts, David? And he said no, because he's been hearing me say, because I've been dealing with headaches, and he's been hearing me say that I have a headache, and I've been talking to other people about my headaches and things like that. And so today he was like, my body hurts, and he said, I have a headache. And so I was like, your head hurts? And he said, no, my body has a headache. So he was trying to say that his body hurt. And so it was just like a more difficult day at first. After he woke up saying his stomach hurt, and then he seemed to be, doing better and able to go to the playroom and everything. I was like, well, good, and hopefully today will be a good day before we start on the really yucky medicines tomorrow. But that wasn't the case. So then tonight, so after he got back from the playroom, he was just kind of like blah, not feeling so great, and I could tell he was more tired, and I had to try to get him to take his medicine. So that is never ever fun. Like, medicine time is just never fun. And so we've been doing it for a long time, and it has not gotten any easier. So anyway, we had to work on medicines, and we had been working on those like throughout the day, and then working on another mouthwash, because he's supposed to do 4 mouthwashes a day. Today we got him 3. And so finally, when it was like the second to the last medicine we were working on, he just barfed everywhere. He took a drink of the medicine, and then he took a drink of some juice, and then it was just blah everywhere. So so he was like on his PICC line, on the bed, on me, on the floor, in the sink, in the garbage can, and on him, of course, and it was just like a mess. And so I started, after it was over, started getting him cleaned up and cleaning up the room, and called the nurse. And so he cleaned his PICC line and everything, and brought him a new gown and fresh sheets and everything, and we got everything all cleaned up and got David all settled again, and tried to get him some more like nausea medicine, because he said he still wasn't feeling well after he threw up. And so the nurse was going to give him some more Ativan, but when he looked in the system, he couldn't yet, because David had it earlier. So it wasn't time for him to get more Ativan, and it wasn't time for him to get I guess more Zofran. So he got nothing. And but after that, he pretty much just took it easy, laid down in bed, watched a little bit more TV, played a little bit of his game, and then he like opened a bag of pretzels and started eating a little bit of them. And the next thing I knew, he closed his game, he put his pretzels to the side, and he went to sleep. So that has pretty much been our day. Tomorrow he'll get started on a really horrible medicine called ATG. That is a chemotherapy drug. That's the same drug that David was on, or he got over 4 days back in September. That's a chemotherapy drug, and they use it with kids with aplastic anemia who don't have a sibling match, but maybe they have an unrelated donor, but they want to first see if this therapy, this immunosuppression therapy, will work. So they give him like this chemotherapy drug over 4 days. And David got that, and of course it didn't work. But when the day he was discharged from the hospital, we went home, we stayed at the Ronald McDonald House that night. He got discharged like in the evening. So we stayed, actually no. The day he was discharged from the hospital, we drove home after he'd received this 4 days of ATG, this chemotherapy drug that has just like all these gross side effects, and you have to, he had to be pre-medicated around the clock, which I hate. Anytime they ask me to pre-medicate, I say no, 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 because it just changes him. Changes his personality. He gets really withdrawn. He might go to sleep, or he might fight it and stay awake and just be like a zombie, or just be like in a bad mood. If he goes to sleep, he's going to usually wake up really cranky, really in a really bad mood. So I'm just like, no. Anytime, they're like, because then he could be pre-medicated for blood products, and they always ask ahead of time because he had a reaction. He has had maybe a couple reactions, small reactions to platelets, but I always still say no, because it's not all the time, and his reactions have not been really bad, and so I just rather him not be pre-medicated when he has to get blood products. But for the ATG, I have no choice. Kids automatically get pre-medicated when they receive ATG. So anyway, back in September, when he had gotten the ATG over those 4 days and dealt with all those yucky side effects, even with pre-medication, we went home. He got discharged. He went home. He fell asleep on the way home, and he stayed asleep, like from the car to the couch, and then from the couch to bed. He stayed asleep, and the next day he was still sleeping, like at 11:30 in the morning. And we checked his temperature. He had a fever. Long story short, he ended up in the PICU, the Pediatric Intensive Care Unit. He had to go to our local ER, be transported by ambulance to the Children's Hospital in Chicago, and it was really just like the scariest night of my life. His blood pressure was dropping, and he was vomiting and diarrhea like at the same time, screaming in the bed, and it was just really, really scary. And so the PICU doctors thought either he was going, he had gone into septic shock, or he was going to septic shock. And the hematology doctors think that perhaps it was serum sickness, which is something that can happen when you get ATG. Or it could have been serum sickness that led to septic shock. Whatever it was definitely life-threatening. His blood pressure was dropping, so they had to give him epinephrine. And he spent some time in the PICU, and eventually got moved back to the hematology floor, where he's at now. That's where they have the kids who have blood disorders and cancers and things like that. And then after that, he had high blood pressure. They found problems with his kidneys. He went home on a plethora of medications after that happened. So now he's going to get this drug again tomorrow, and it's going to be a higher dose, and it's going to be over a longer period of time. So it's going to be really hard, and he's going to get that drug and another chemotherapy drug called fludarabine with that drug. So the last 2 days were not easy, but sort of like the easy days for David. The next 3, 4, 5 days are going to be really difficult. So it's going to be rough. And so I appreciate prayers for David. A lot of prayers for David, and prayers that he does not get sick like he did last time after he receives the ATG. That's pretty much it for today. I will update again tomorrow. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.